Well, good evening, everyone. It's Catfish Tyler. I got King Cat right here. He's coming in and says we'll be back soon. Well, we're back and we're back now. So, hey, say hi to Catfish Tyler, and I'm going to hang out here on the bottom a while. So, thank you for being here with me and King Cat. And, folks, what an interesting turn of events we've got going on. And I'm going to show you what the title says here. Sofi had a red day, but it's got a green week, a green month, and a green year. How, why, and what's next, right? So let's go find out. I'm going to pull this right up here. We're going to jump right into this. Oh, but first, almost forgot to make my picture a little smaller. We don't need to be that big. We can be downsized. There we go. Maybe even a little more. All right, there we go. So what we're going to be showing you folks is some interesting stuff. So stick around for just about 10 minutes while I show you what all I've got to show you here. And we got the display right under me. Should work fine. So here's what I want to show you folks right here. Those of you who may be new to this stock and haven't seen these things before, but the most important thing for everyone to see is what happened after earnings. And you can see we had on earnings day where we beat the street again and met our expectations, EPS. And folks, it was a triple beat and some great forward guidance, right? So therefore, the shorters decided why fight it this time, because we're going to jump back not to this date when they did their earnings. We're jumping back to this date when they did their earnings the last time, right? So what happened then? Well, the price, folks, I'm going to break it down in a nutshell. On the 28th, the price closed at 623. The earnings came out. It was fabulous, like always, beat the street. You can see those right over here. What they did, they really beat the street on this one here. This is the one I'm talking about. And then here's the one last that they clobbered again, right? So they're clobbering the street here. So because of this, on that May the 1st, the price spiked up 29 cents on May the 1st in the morning on that great news. And then they had a plan, though. Whoever was shorting for the last 6 months from $15 down to this range here, and I mean, I've shown you this before on this technical chart. If you go back to the yearly chart, there was a heck of a lot of shorting that was going on down here, folks. I'm telling you, because if I go in here even further, and I don't want to get too sidetracked, but dadgummit, I like to get right to the nitty gritty, show you the year chart. And here's what I emphasize. The heavy shorting didn't start till it got here. See the reds down here? Now look down here where the price was running up, freaking from $14 up to 22 on no candlesticks at all. There wasn't even any volume here. You can't even see it. And then look over here how it was running up again. Look how little the volume was, see? But here is where they started, $15 to $13, heavy, heavy, heavy shorting. They came in again here when it got to 10 and forced it down to 5. And look how the heavy shorting was. So they started at 15, but when at 10, they averaged at 12. They got it from 10 down to 7, and they came in heavy again right here. Look at this red, all the red there. So now they've averaged to 9. And then when it got here and started, they piled in here from at this 823 range, and they piled in heavy shorting, and now they've averaged their 9 to 850 or so. And then when they piled in here on this one, and you can see the date when they come at it this time, man, folks, the price was 553. They were piling in, and they averaged down to 7. Look where we are right now. So this major bear trap is forming on them. And even here when they came hard, red, the price right here, look, was in the $4, $5 range. So they've averaged down so low now because they kept piling in on this. It's got out of control on them now. They thought they were going to run Sofi out of business. Their competitor was going to close their doors because they were going to keep shorting them out. David Friacchini's pet came out and said $250 a share, knocked the shit out of it, right? But what I'm going to show you here right now is going to be a real revelation to you. Because first, you can see right here that the 652 that it was up to on the morning, the earnings broke out, and it should have been even higher, in my opinion. But after that, look at this volume, 125 million. Now you're another 115 million. That's 240 million, 300 million. They produced 360 million. The price 652 to 459. So how far did it drop? All right, I'm gonna show you. 6.52 minus 4.59 equals $1.93, folks. It fell $1.93, down 193. Well, let's figure out what that loss was. Percentage from off this high to this low, 459. So, all right, we're going to start with the number right here that we had here. Actually, let's go from the high that day, because not only did it open at 652, it hit 654. So let's make sure we're accurate here. So they attacked it from 654, 6.54 minus, and they took it down to what number? 459, right? 459, 4.59 equals drop of $1.95. 195 down. Now, what do? Is you take that number and you divide it back into the original number, which was 654 divided by 6.54 equals, and then multiply that times 100 times 100 equals, and that is 30%. So, folks, on that much volume, 360 something million shares, I'm writing it down, 360 million, they were able to get it down 30%, which was $1.95. All right, cool. Now let's go up here to Chia Day, which we're going to have a celebration every year on May 15th when David Chiavrini came out. Let's go over here, tell you the guy that destroyed the price with his analysis, this expert here, David Chiavrini. Look at this expert analysis. He came out. This is a dude that made the price fall all the way to $4.45. This is him. This is his score. The success rate, 40% red. Average return, negative 8.70. He is rated 8,315 out of 8,543. He doesn't even have a star. He's got a tip of a star, and his rating is 0.13. How appropriate, the number 0.13. This guy right here, folks, is the one that, believe it or not, caused the price to fall on May the 15th, where it was already back up to 522 the day before and 562 days before that. And he made it fall to 445. So let's go off this number here that it was at before he came out, because it closed here at 502. Then he came out with his downgrade and said SoFi is only worth $2.50. This guy with that rating. So the price fell from 502. Let's do the math. How far was he able to affect the price? 5.02 minus, he knocked it down to 445. 4.45 equals 57-cent drop. So we had a 195 drop once, 57 cent this time, divided by the original number again, which was 5.02 equals, and multiply that times what? 100 equals, that's an 11% drop, folks. That's an 11% drop he was able to affect on that downgrade. Okay? Why am I showing you this? Well, folks, I'm going to show you something different, because you saw that 30% drop, and that what a difference a month makes, or 2 months makes, because after the May 1st and that major drop with all that volume, 364 million shares, let's go to the next time that a downgrade came, okay? So we've seen one downgrade from Chia Pet, get it down 11%. Here comes another one on July the 13th from our buddies at Morgan Stanley, who happened to own, at the time, $58 million plus of SoFi stock. And they come out, Morgan Stanley downgraded on June 13th, folks, and the price dropped from the previous 954, and they hit it. So there we go. We'll start from 954 that morning before he did his article. And how far did it drop? 9.54 minus, dropped all the way to 889. All right, you see that? Equals 65 cents divided by the original figure, which was 9. What did I say? The 13th. 954 divided by 954 times 100 equals 7% drop. So we had an 11% drop, and this time we only had a 7% drop from somebody who actually, Morgan Stanley, and by the way, Morgan Stanley didn't downgrade to a lower price. They upped from their previous estimate. They upped the price, but that's called a downgrade, just so you know. And you can see the effect of it, right? I'm showing you the stuff because I think it's important, and I appreciate you being here with me while I show you this. All right, I just did a live stream shortly here right at the closing, but now I'm doing this one for you folks because I want to show you this stuff because I think it's important. Okay, so how does now, after that one, let's go up here to the 1st and the 31st. When we had this time, we came out with earnings on the 31st, right? We beat the street. We met EPS. We met there. You can see that right over here. We met at 0.06. So we didn't actually this time go beyond, but here's what I want to show you, folks. Here's what I want to show you that's important. On this one, on that date that we came out, look at the volume that bought it up to 1170, right? 1170, and then it closed at 1145. So we're working off of this number now, 1145. 11.45. Of course, what we have on the next day, we had a downgrade. And the same thing, it was a downgrade by KBW, downgrading from 550 up to 750 a share, right? But somehow that upgrade down or downgrade up, that let's see what kind of effect it had, right? And on the volume, look at the difference. See, after that, there's only, folks, there's only 88 million, not 125 attacking this time on the downgrade, right? It's not there. The volume's not there. On that last one, on Chia's downgrade, folks, go back and look at it on May the 15th. What was the volume? 103 million shares, folks. Okay? So here we got a downgrade. They come in on the next day after we beat the street and hit the high of 1170, and then we're at 1145 at the close. They downgraded it, and let's see the effect of the downgrade. 1145 to the low was 1031. Let's go. That's $1.14. So we've seen a $1.95 drop. Then we've seen a 57-cent drop. And now we see a $1.14 drop divided by the original price, which was $11.45, equals times 100 equals. Folks, that is a 10% drop. Okay? And because it only fell 10%, it's because they didn't have the 360 million shares this time. They have such little to work with. They only 88 million shares, folks. You see it? This is the key that I'm trying to stress, and the biggest point I'm trying to share with all of you is they don't have the strength to keep holding this back much longer, folks, in my opinion, and why I feel like I'm imminent, absolute major breakout because of all these shorted shares that they've now averaged down to $8 and $9. How long are they going to keep holding those and waiting and hoping and praying when you look at a 1-year chart that looks like this? Huh? Look at this thing. It's exploding up to the upside, bouncing off of this line I'm drawing of trajectory for you, even though they came at it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday it went up, and then look at it Monday. See? But every single attempt now from that point to drive it below this point here I'm showing you is just futile. And look at the angle of the 200-day moving average. I want to show you this right here. This has been since the 15th when Shivrini came out, where it was right there. Look at it breaking above here. Look at that. See? And I'm being generous to them there. It's actually down here, right there. That's the line right here from the 15th all the way up to this point, the 13th, 713. It was flat increasing steadily, but this is changing now, isn't it? See, this is changing. So are these. Look at these. Look at the 45 and 50 to continually gapping further away. I hope this makes sense to you folks. This is the most important thing I wanted to show you. I think they've run out of chias, and I think that these other reviewers, analysts like Andrew Jeffries, who has a 5-star rating, among many others with great high 5-star ratings, are saying 16, 17. James Ford, who wrote the article for Seeking Alpha, Foord, look him up. James Ford, you'll find out. He wrote an article that just shows you everything laid out, almost as good as Hurricane Lopez or better. Hurricane Lopez, go see what he's saying. He brings it out a little more stiffer. He gives them more credit for what they do. But I show you they're getting weak, and that's my belief. All right, so I'm done. That's all I wanted to show you. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I'm presuming that since they use this much volume this afternoon, that they've totally spent the rest of their WAD, which was very little to begin with in the first place. So feel confident, folks. We're going up from here. And that's going to be my synopsis for this evening. So I'm going to pull this down, come back up here, boom, right there. And I'm going to pull this up, and I'd say thank you. By the way, yeah, I got my hair caught on fire, burned it. No. My wife said, with all these friends coming up to go to Steve Miller and all, you can't look old and gray. You want to make you look young. Puts on this hair dye. No, it's not dye. It's just I stuck my head in the cookie oven while I was making cookies. I wanted to show you folks. I did make my cookies. For those of you coming back to see how my cookies turned out, look. Oh my gosh. Look at those cookies. And I'm going to show you folks the way I make them. They bend. They're just gooey and delicious. These were a little thinner than usual, but that's because I didn't put the batter into the refrigerator for about 2 hours. Normally I put all my batter in the fridge for 2 hours before I put it all into the oven, so you get very common consistency. You got to have that consistency. But sometimes they'll flatten out a little if you don't have enough, if you have more humidity, less humidity in the air. But if you keep them and put them in the fridge a couple hours, even when you put them in the dops on the tray, stick them in the fridge a couple hours, then put them in, you'll get always the exact same result. So this time they were a little flat because I didn't do that, but I'm sharing it with you. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed your time. And now, here we are, folks. It's time to close out the night with me, King Cat. Hope you had a good time here with Catfish Tyler. Thank you for liking the video, sharing this channel with your friends, and subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, because if you hit that thing, when we come up live, when we're at the bottom price each day, then we'll be here and you'll see and you'll know. So, hey, we hope that you have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We hope that you have complete happiness. We hope that you have prosperity. And we hope that you have great health. And most of all, that you're surrounded with love. So that's going to be it for our show this evening. Thanks again, and I'm out of here to go do some more digging for great information on this killer company. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.